Hey, it's Larry Lurcy. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to take a look at Luminar 4 with the Mystical filter. What this is a specific tool inside of Luminar 4 that gives your images this kind of dreamlike appearance and kind of this soft look to them, and it really is pretty interesting. It doesn't work with every image, but when you find the right image, it really does make a nice effect. If you look down in the comments, I will have a link to the stock image that we're going to use, and so if you'd like to download that and follow along, you're welcome to do so. There's also a link where you can download a demo of Luminar 4 and follow along with us if you'd like. So without any further ado, let's roll the intro. Alright, here we are in Photoshop, and I've got a stock image here from Luca Bravo on Unsplash, and I will put a link to this in the comments. If you want to download this image and follow along with what I'm doing, you can do so. So the first thing we want to do, of course, is go ahead and make a copy of this layer, and we'll just call this one LUM for right now, and we'll go back if we make a preset and rename that. But this is going to allow us to work on a separate layer, so we've got some flexibility afterwards. Alright, so let's jump into Filter, Scotland, Luminar 4. Now, of course, when you get in here with any sort of a landscape image, you can always just run through these looks down here at the bottom. But that's not what we're doing today. We have got a very specific plan in mind, but just keep in mind that you can run through those because you get a bunch of cool looks that way. But we're going to look specifically up here to the Creative tab. We are going right here to Mystical. So Mystical is pretty simple. Let's go ahead and open up the advanced settings so we've got everything here at our disposal. And what Mystical is going to do is kind of give the image this airy, foggy, mystical, kind of a dreamlike type look. And I'll show you by just kind of taking it all the way to the right. Show you the extreme example. Let's do our comparison, and you can kind of see what that looks like. If you look here at the little cabin, there's the before and the after. You can really see the effect here in the tree, where the tree line meets the mountains. It definitely has a much more dreamy look to it. So we don't necessarily need that much, but we're going to give it a pretty good dose of this. I'm going to stop here at about 80%. Now, one of the side effects of this tool is it will cause the shadows to start blocking up on you. If we drop this all the way back down, as you watch some of these shadowy areas, they will start getting really dark through there. And so what you can do is come back here with this shadow slider and open those back up a little bit. Now, as you do it, you start losing some of that dream-like effect, so you don't want to go too far with that, but we're going to bring a little bit back. Then we're going to try these advanced settings down here. And first one we're going to look at here is smoothness, which seems to give just kind of an overall softness to the image, which kind of helps that transition from the areas that are getting that mystical treatment to them and the areas that aren't getting as much of it, and it seems to kind of smooth those out a little bit. So I'm going to give it a little bit of that. Saturation, I think in this case we probably want to give it a little more saturation. And then of course warmth. It's pretty good right there. Let's look at let's do it this way. Compare the before and after. There's our before. There's our after. Definitely has, and you can really see it down here on the little cabin. It just has a little more of a glow to it, and not quite so crisp. Still plenty of detail through here. I don't feel like we've lost a whole lot of detail, but it doesn't really have this really hard edge to it anymore. It's just kind of softened all those, and so it gives you this nice kind of a mystical type feeling, and I think that works really well. Now, one thing you can do is, if you really get this dialed in how you like it, of course, let's go a little bit more. I'm going to go up to 85 on that. One thing you can do is save this look, and what we will do is just call it Mystical 1, and that way we will know that if we kind of want to do that first kind of a mystical setup to an image, we can just now use this preset look and go right to that on our next image. So it's a pretty simple tool to use, not a whole lot of sliders you have to deal with. You're basically just going to dial that up and bring it back. Now once we've done this, let's go ahead and drop back into Photoshop. We'll hit apply. We again have it up here. We will go ahead and rename this Luminar Mystical 1, I think we called it. So now we know what preset we used there. Look at our before and after. Definitely has a more dreamlike look to it. And as we talked about before in other videos, now we've got this opacity slider here where we can come back and dial it back at some point if we decide we don't want all that effect. We can dial it in or out depending on what we want to do. But for now, we'll leave it as it is, and I think that works really nicely. I hope that kind of gives you an overview of how it works. So there you have it. As you can see, it's a very cool filter. It's not going to work with every image, but for the right image, it really does nicely. If this looks like something you'd like to add to your photography arsenal, you can use the discount code LarryPhoto, and that'll get you a discount at the Luminar website. So feel free to give that a shot. So there you have it. Pretty cool plug-in, not going to work for every image, but it is an unusual effect, and it's one that can really add some drama to the certain types of images. If you don't already have Luminar 4, you can use the discount code LarryPhoto to get a discount on it at their website, so feel free to check that out. If you haven't already done so, I hope you'll do me the honor of subscribing to the channel, ring the little bell so you know when new content comes out. That's all we have for this week, but I will see you soon with more videos. Take care. Bye-bye.